Come on, come on. There we are. All right, we're rocking and rolling. I think we are. Hold on. Yeah, okay, it says we're okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let's see. Hey, Dream Sunshine, welcome. Yeah, okay, you jumped in here early. Appreciate it. Terrador, welcome. Animal Man, welcome. And Wasabi, good to see you again. Um, we're gonna wait for any big announcements while some more people probably drift in here. Maybe. We'll see what happens. First off, let me know if y'all can hear me or not. It was acting a little funky when I first started. So make sure y'all can hear me. Luna, welcome. Glad you made it. Speaking awesome. Sound is perfect so far. Well, give me time. I'll screw it up. So, we had a viewer last week donate $20 for a new webcam. Don't worry, I haven't used it yet. We are, however, researching and looking into a good webcam that we can get, and it looks like I might actually be able to get one ordered this week. Actually, I'm hoping to order it tomorrow morning if I can. So I'm gonna have to go back through the stream because I forgot to write it down. But I want to thank that viewer because that is going to allow us to attempt to improve the video quality here on the live streams. So thank you very much, and thank you for everyone else who does um, donate via super chats, as well as who is also my patrons on Patreon, who constantly monthly um, give their hard-earned money to support this channel and the resources we need to keep it going. So I really, really appreciate it. Well, we're going to try and get it up in HD. Again, we still have to work around my technological ignorance. So we're going to try. We are going to try. And I just realized, what is wrong with my shirt here? Oh my God. I look like a freaking padre up in this joint. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. Um, all right. But yeah, I want to thank you for the donation. That's actually going to make it so much easier to get that camera. Highly appreciate it. Uh, Wizard Warrior, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you. Need HD. Oh Lord. We'll transform you into a pro streamer. Well, if we can get me there, now that is some truly epic magic. Me and technology have not really gotten along most of my life. I am definitely a caveman living in a digital age. So, I mean, when I actually told a few of my friends that I was going to attempt the YouTube thing, at least two of them fell out of their seats laughing. Just saying. All right, let's see. LBX, welcome. Glad you can make it. Next year you'll be at 1 million viewers. Whoa. Um, it's hard to believe I broke the 5,000 mark. So yeah, if we hit 1 million by next year, we have got to do some kind of serious blowout special for you viewers. I don't know what I'll do, but we'll figure something out. Luna, thank you very much. Hey, you're right. That's a cup of coffee. That is for sure a cup of coffee. And much appreciated. Thanks for the cup of coffee, Luna. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this or not, but it's 2021. It's New Year's. Whole new year. Now, I posted on my private Facebook that 2020 was a great year. Looking forward to 2021. Happy New Year's to everyone, and hope your 2021 exceeds how awesome your 2020 was. All right. Some of you may guess I might have caught some flack for that comment. because I didn't think 2020 was that bad. And I tell people, actually really sit down and write out everything that happened to you last year. Write down all the goods and all the bads. And everyone who just took up this challenge has come back to me so far and told me I did not realize how many awesome things happened to me last year because I was so pre-focused on all the negative stuff happening. And you know what? That's why I said 2020 was a good year. I spent my year focusing on me, my family, my friends, and actually much of the time, even on you viewers, and all the good things, the growth, the progress, and the fun that we could have. Because you always got to have fun. Even when things get rough, you got to try and have some fun. So for me, I never hit the bad vibe depression 2020. Never hit it. And I really did. I had a great 2020. Now, I do know people had bad spots. I'm not saying I didn't have a bad spot. We had a few here ourselves. Um, but it's the overall, it's the big picture I try to look at most of the time. And I do that every year coming up to New Year's. I think even during Magical Coffee Hour last week, someone asked me if I had any plans for rituals or whatnot. Hey, Peachy, welcome. And Dream Sunshine, welcome. Better late than never. And I told them I was not really had too much planned except to, plan out what I was going to do this year. But I forgot to mention that I also go back and always review my journals, what's happened, and evaluate and find out all the wonderful things that's happened. And I can honestly, genuinely say it was an awesome year for me, my friends, and my family. Really was absolutely wonderful. Not to say we didn't have bad things happen. We did. Everybody does. But I want to encourage everyone this year to try and do that and actually make a commitment to stay focused on the bigger picture and stay focused on your goals. Don't get your feet knocked down from under you. Hey, Wade, welcome. So now, that said, this year, I am actually wanting to focus more on Norse videos, hence the background here. I am going to be working a lot more doing another Norse path working, so hopefully I'll be able to share large chunks of that, but I'm going to be doing a lot more Norse videos. That does not mean we're stopping Dragon Magic. You will still be seeing plenty of Dragon Magic videos. In fact, we got one planned in the next couple of weeks coming out. Answering a lot of questions about Guardians, Co-Magicians, and the 9 rulers that I've been getting spammed to my email. So I figure it's an important video that needs to be talked about and get it out there. And for those of you who have been emailing me about the Norse deity lore and gnosis videos, where I would like to do a lore video on Odin, then do a gnosis video about my personal direct workings and compare and contrast the two. Those are coming. I don't know why they got delayed. In fact, I was talking with someone in the Discord server today. Actually, it's Peachy, and it's weird because on my planning board, it's like they got moved down. I didn't move them. I don't know who moved them. I'm personally of a mind, I think Loki or Odin moved them and pushed them back and saved them for this year because we did have so many wonderful and important videos that we had to get up this year, or last year, I should now say. So I think that might be why. But whatever the reason, they are coming. So hold on to your britches. We got them coming. And yes, Peachy, I did tell you got to pick the first one. So yes, that still holds. I have not forgotten. I'm getting a little gray around the goatee, but not that bad. So the first one will be Odin, as you requested. We also do have the Dragon Magic 102 course that is coming. I've had a few people say, why is it taking so long? Well, 101 is a massive freaking course. Even if you complete the first work through, you should still be going back and working with your guardian and co. I mean, that guardian and co should be with you 24/7 every day. If that's not happening, step back, reevaluate, and reapproach. Um, and you really want a good, solid foundation. So, working a solid year with just the material in that's no small order. And it's a pretty reasonable thing. But I am looking to hope to have it out about April or May timeframe is what we're looking at. Assuming there's no apocalyptic delays or anything. That's roughly when we can expect to see 102 this year. So, woohoo! Uh, let's see what else we got happening. Hopefully, things will open up a bit more so I can perhaps get some outdoor videos. I didn't get to do my normal camping trips like I usually did last year. I was even considering getting some footage of some of my workings when I'm out in the woods doing my camping trips and whatnot. Um, didn't happen last year. That's cool. I understand that. But hopefully this year we can do something like that. If not, yes, Happy New Year's, TC. Hugs up to you, man. Um, and for those who keep sending me home remedies and telling me, hope you get better, sending energy, blessings, praying for you. Um, I appreciate it. I am much, much better. We've almost fully kicked that cough. And honestly, that's the only thing that's been bothering me is just an annoying cough. I've actually been in really good health. But I do appreciate your all's concerns, your all the well wishes, everything. You guys are amazing. Let's see, Tara. I wish I was more into camping. Oh well. Hope you can maybe find time to go this year. Yeah, we're hoping. We're hoping. And camping's a lot of fun. I know it's not easy for everyone to get out there and do it. And you got to find your right level of camping. Um, I'll admit, I give people a hard time when they go glamping, which is glamour camping. Um, but at the same time, I rib them. I give them a hard time. But just having that opportunity to get out there, get away from it, and unplug is really nice. Now, if you're taking a TV camping and you've got your PlayStation or your Xbox or whatever it is, and you go out in the woods and you sit there and you're still plugged into everything, I'll be honest, save the money, just stay home and stay plugged in. So there is a level of glamping where it's like, okay, you went too far. There's no reason. Just go home, save the money. And then that just makes good fiscal sense at that point. Um, but for magical practitioners, I do think getting out in nature and understanding nature, and even having some of the skills that would come from camping or bushcraft camping that's like can be very, very helpful. And we've discussed potentially covering some of those skills here on this channel. That's still in the air. Hopefully, we'll be able to cover some of those. Some of y'all are actually interested. Um, so yeah, we're still looking into those too. So we have a lot of big project and ideals for this year. As many of you jokingly know, I forgot who it was, but they mentioned me starting a second channel. Not a magic channel, just a kind of a goofy, fun little D&D stream style thing. I actually been talking to a few people about that, and we've got a few people interested in having a possibility of doing that. So we are going to work out the logistics and talk about it, see if it's doable. Not promising anything, but I promise we'll talk about it and see about the logistics. And if it all works out, y'all may get your wish on that as well. So awesome. Which, to be fair, I love the idea because that gives me an excuse to relax because I don't really do much relaxing. So something like that, even though it relaxing slash work, really do me some good. So not a bad idea. Uh, so yeah, should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Which actually brought me to an idea for a video I'm wanting to do this year. Because someone asked me why I hadn't mentioned my love for role playing before. I didn't realize I hadn't, but it's because D&D gives real magic a bad name in a lot of cases. A lot of practitioners avoid talking about D&D in any shape, form, or fashion because you got a lot of knuckleheads out there that think real magic should function the way fantasy magic does, and they just can't seem to separate these two. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, why haven't I done a video on that? That's a great freaking thing to talk about here at Working Dragon Mystic. Talk about how these two things differ, but why they can be so important too. So keep your eyes peeled for that little conjuration of mischief. Let's see what we got here. Got some comments I'm getting behind on. Pterodar, love nature, but my absolute hatred for mosquitoes shall surpass all in the universe. Well, find you a place you can go camping with low mosquitoes or do so in the fall. Early to mid fall is a beautiful time for camping. The woods got those leaves turning colors. The air's good and crisp. And I tell you, there's nothing like a hot beverage and a hot meal cooked on the fire on those cool nights. Oh, it's good. Mornings can be rough. The mornings can be rough in fall because you get up cold. You've been in your sleeping bag, you're all warm, and you get out into that cold air. But once you push through the cold and you get that first cup of coffee or whatever your morning beverage is made, it's heaven. It is a slice of heaven right there. And it helps you combat that mosquito problem. Believe me, I live in the South, spent lots of time in Louisiana on the bayou. The mosquitoes will eat you alive. There's actually an area between Louisiana and Florida called Mosquito Alley. And that's pretty much all that's in that area. Horrible. TC, roughing it for me is a Motel 6. We lived in a camper for 6 months while growing up, and that's kind of did it for me. Oh, well, see, I don't even take a camper when I go camping. If it doesn't fit in my backpack, I don't take it. I literally do the very, very low impact bedroll style camping, or build a shelter with like a tarp. That's what I do. I really do the roughing it. Hey, Mrs. Tweets, welcome. Happy 2021 to you too. Great to see you. Let's see. What if you did camping videos in the future that involve your magical practices? That's actually the ideal, Pterodor, because when I do go camping on these outings, since it's so low impact, most of what I do while I'm out there is meditation, trance, and rituals for my practice. It's really that unplugged time where I really dive deep and connect. And that's exactly what I'm wanting to film if I get to go camping. It's those exact little things. I don't figure y'all's interested in me making coffee or cooking breakfast or setting up a shelter. Well, you might be on the shelter. I don't know. But the rituals is the thing that I'm actually wanting to film. That is the thing I'm wanting to film. Been there. Uh, well, I love the Bayou. I went there because a friend of mine had to visit her family originally, and she was a good friend and a mentor of mine at the time. So that's the original reason I spent so much time in the Louisiana bayous. Mosquitoes are rough, but I grew up in the South, so I can fight a mosquito. I can fight it. I can fight an army of mosquitoes if need be. But it was still, oh God, that is a new level of mosquito. They leveled up. But I come to love it. The environment, the nature, the people, and oh, the food. The food is awesome. Um, and if you've ever been in Louisiana when the magnolia blossoms are in bloom and the honeysuckle's in bloom, oh dear God, there is nothing like an evening night with that in the air or a good morning when that just hits your nose when you walk inside. It's just freaking amazing. Um, I don't even know how to explain it. it's just something you have to experience. Pterodon, I want to do nature stuff in my backyard now. Or for now, I want to try a bit more gardening maybe this year. Try to connect to the spirits of nature that way. That's a great idea, Pterodon. And actually, when we begin talking about the land whites with the Norse videos we're planning on doing, I want to give some ideas to how you can work with them, connect with them. And gardening is actually one of the things you can use. So, yeah, good idea. I keep telling myself I'm going to start a bucket garden in my backyard, and I don't know why I keep telling myself because every time I look at it, I'm like, I ain't got a backyard. It's too small. Also, a great idea, Terra. Great way to connect with the Earth Dragons and Terra Fauna. Which 102 is going to introduce you to 4 new Earth Dragons to befriend, and you'll be working deeper with Terra Fauna as well through Draconic Alchemy. Let's see, Austin Embry, what happens to a god or deity when it passes away of old age? They don't die of old age. That's pretty much the easy one. Age is not a thing for them in any shape, form, or fashion. So they don't really have to worry there. And they also are renewed in any time that once one cycle is completed and a new one begins, they're also renewed. Some mythologies actually show this pretty distinctly, some do not. Norse mythology is actually one that shows it really, really well because you have the tale of Ragnarok and you see the epic final battle, the death of the gods. But what you also see is a world reborn. You see the gates of Helheim open. You see Nidhogger come flying out of Helheim with the once dead on his wings. So you get all these beings being brought back into this new world. Um, it does say that Thor's son takes up his hammer, those kinds of things. But it also goes to, if you're reading the Poetic Edda in its completion, it opens with the tales of the gods when they were like children. They were new beings. They were youthful. They use the term youthful, not childlike, but youthful. And they're playing with these figurines of gold. Um, and of course, as the poetic edis progresses, they no longer have that youthfulness, that free lovingness about them. They've kind of got age and wisdom and wariness about them. So these toys are just kind of cast aside. But the gods return and once again find those toys in the fields of the new earth. And that is very symbolic to the fact that the gods are renewed, reborn, and the like. So they really don't die of old age or die for that matter. Uh, as long as is needed, Animal Man. There's essentially 2 things that will happen. Either A, you're because you got to understand the souls that are in the afterlife are fragments of the greater soul. So each lifetime's only like a itty bitty little fraction of the soul. The soul cannot be fit into this human meat suit. Um, and what goes to the afterlife is that fragment. So what's going to happen is those fragments will stay in the afterlife until the soul completes its journey. That time frame is going to be different for every person, but that journey ends with ascent. Um, so some people reach ascent before others. Some people take much longer. Some people take more fragments to get there. But once you do reach it, your soul ascends and all the fragments rejoin and become a truer version of you. And that truer version of you ascends and remains in the planes, and you can even visit the underworlds that you once resided in because you will still have friends and family members and the like that you can visit there. Now, once a soul ascends, there is a um, spirit entity created in its likeness. It's kind of a way to honor all the lifetimes that the ascent took. And it's to honor all the experiences, the knowledge, and the lineology therein. That way, the ancestral line is still there. And every step along the process, all the different things are honored in that way. But they don't look at it as an afterlife either. I mean, it's like it's home. Hope that answers your question somewhat, Animal Man. Let's see. Teradar asked, "Do you know if the dragon and dragoness are actually gods and or the first of their kind?" It really depends on how you're going to define gods, Teradar, because when you talk to them, they are adamant they are not. They will say they are the closest thing dragon kind would ever have to a god, but they refuse to be called such. They absolutely are offended by the title. Um, but as far as I can tell, they are indeed the first of dragon kind. But they do predate practically every dragon in our written history that I've found. Um, but they're two of the entities that I'm still trying to get more information on. But at least that one, yeah, that's right now that's my understanding. Wasabi was playing Minecraft. How did you like the memes on Discord? Pretty good, pretty good. Wasabi. Do keep some of the language ones and whatnot into the layer of Loki, but they were great. That one I left up because seriously, there was some serious wisdom in that one. Uh, the rest of them you put in, uh, yeah, but yeah, love the memes. You put in some good memes, man. Appreciate it. Austin, thanks, Drake. No problem. Let's see. Uh, is that Lika or I like it? Or Lilac? You are so well informed. Well, I do my best. I'm by no means done learning. Anyone who tells you they're done learning, turn around, walk away. They're a snake oil salesman. Um, I don't know. I really can't say how well informed I am. I don't know. I'm always constantly trying to learn and push, but my goal is to share what knowledge I have to those who don't have it or are seeking it. And hopefully, together, we can actually continue to work and gain further knowledge and continue to share it. Maybe in so doing, who knows? Maybe we'll make the world a better place. I don't know. Or maybe we can help each other get to that ascended point quicker. Either way, everyone benefits. But thank you much for the compliment. Uh, Terador, you have a bunch of other people connect to me. That sounds scary. Well, they're not other people. They're you. They're you, Teradar. Think about it. Every one of those little fragments that's ever incarnated on the physical plane is you. It's just part of you, if that makes sense. That's actually a good question because I do know animals do have spirits. They do pass on. You do see them on the other side. Um, but you know what? I've never thought to consider the ascension concept when it comes to animals. That is something I am totally going to have to look into, Teradar. Considering how closely they mimic our process, I would not be surprised if they do. And if I was betting on it right now, I'd bet they do. So I don't know, but if I was putting my money on it, I'd say they do. But I'm going to actually go check that out now. You gave me something to work on this week. Thank you. Xavier, yeah. Both your guardian dragon and your co-magician can help you with confidence straight out of the gate real easily. Um, Once you get a good solid background with those two dragons, um, The two I would actually approach would be Terrafauna and Ingus. The reason for that is Terrafauna is going to give you that solid foundation that you're going to need, that steadfastness that you're going to need to stand your ground, because confidence comes from experience. You can't just magically be confident. You have to actually basically get shot by the paintball gun before you stop flinching. Um, but Ingus will give you the fire to do it. So she'll give you that foundation, that steadfastness, but he'll give you the fire to do it. And between the two of them, yeah, they would definitely be great to help you with the confidence. You could also go to not Ingus because that's I already told you, but Zephyrsil. Um, Zephyrsil can actually allow you to focus on the logic of the situation, and logic strips away the emotions, which doubt, fear, and all those things um, that cause you to have problems, which is where confidence helps you fight those. So he can actually apply that logic to it, which helps you kind of step out of the emotional state. So let's see. They better all be artistic. um, I'm not sure I understand your question, Austin. How does an animal deity utilize magic? I guess it would depend on the deity. I don't work with a lot of animal deities. I work with deities that are associated with animals, but not directly animal deities. That is one area I'm not strong in. Oh yeah, love me some new answers to seek, Terry. You know that. Wasabi, it's different for everyone when it comes to seeing entities. First question is what entities are around you? Are you doing anything to have an entity there that you're speaking with? Also, have you constructed an astral sanctum? And can you see the astral sanctum when you're there? Those would be two questions I would ask you at this time. Because if there's nothing there to see, you're not going to see nothing. Let's see, LVX, what techniques do you use to astral project? I'm really close to astral projecting, and I'll start working with dragons right away. The two main things I do is check out the astral projection. I have an astral projection video. It stands out. It doesn't look like the others where I normally have the black and red logo looking thing. This one's all blue and purple, has a person looking like they're meditating. I was trying something new with thumbnails. Check out that astral projection video. It goes into the basic process I use LVX. But to that, because I don't know if I mentioned it in the video or not, but setting up an astral sanctum is a huge help to astral projecting because essentially it allows you to enter trance. And once you're in trance and you push yourself just to whether nothingness or what, just focus on your astral sanctum, you're naturally going to drift over to a pocket of the astral realm that is essentially yours. And the astral realm is malleable, so you get your own kind of private pocket dimension, if you will, on the astral plane. And you can build it and construct it like whatever you want. Anytime you're in that sanctum, you're on the astral plane and you're doing a form of astral projection. So if you couple your astral sanctum from the astral sanctum video with the easy astral projection video I did, that pretty much covers the main techniques that I teach all my students. Let's see, Lilika, true, but I have very similar knowledge, and you are very accurate from what I know. Also here to learn more myself, and here to learn. And it's pronounced Lilika. Cool. Thank you very much. And it is always good to have those confirmations, Alika. It really is. And thank you for the pronunciation thing. I hope I'm not screwing that up now that you actually got me down there for me to pronounce it. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I do try to get y'all's names right or do the best I can. Linguistics is not my strong suit. But I think y'all know that by now. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Do you know if it's possible for an animal companion to pass on and then reincarnate and meet with the same person from their previous life? Um, I've never seen proof of that, Terrador. I have seen or heard stories or people who believe it's happened. I've not seen proof. But that said, animals do pass on, and assuming that they continue the same cycle the way we do, I would see no reason it couldn't happen, especially if they had lessons to learn together. Um, so I wouldn't think it would be the norm, but I do think it would be possible. Let's see, how many soldiers would you get? I don't think an exact number is given in the edits. I know that I can't remember the count they give because they're talking about how they march out. And I mean, if you figure up exactly how they're marching, you might be able to get a number of how many supposedly march out of Valhalla at Ragnarok. Um, but that's not the entirety of his army either. Um, I really don't know, Austin. But it's from the Einhiljar that I've seen anytime I've ventured into Asgard and around Valhalla. Um, I couldn't even begin to count, but I would easily over 100,000, 200,000, easy. That might even be a low guesstimate. But yeah, it's big and ever growing for that matter. Animal Man, can you explain what a ghost is? Yeah. A ghost is essentially the spiritual energy of a person who's passed on that is either passed on and choosing to manifest and cross back over for some reason temporarily, or has chosen to stick around the material plane for some reason. Sometimes it's due to an emotional vendetta. Sometimes it's they can't let go of something. They don't feel like they left something undone. Those little tropes actually do apply. Now that's assuming this is an intellectual spirit. Now, there are what people call ghosts that are nothing more than an energetic echo. It is literally just an energetic tape recording. Um, so you do have two types of ghosts. Some are just an energetic impression that's left on the environment and it plays back constantly. No interaction, no sentience, no intelligence. It just interacts with the environment like a tape recording. Just because I'm playing Die Hard in my house at Christmas, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, by the way, um, does not mean Bruce Willis is my house. You know what I mean? But the intellectual ghosts and everything, yeah, those are actual spirits of humans who have passed on. Now, poltergeist activity is actually more psychic or energetic phenomenon. It's not so much an energetic; it's a emotional, energetic disturbance where the energy's lashing out and causing weird things like lights flashing, cabinets flying. Some ghosts do mimic poltergeist-like activity. I hope that answers your question somewhat, Animal Man, because I know it's a big topic to cram in real quick, but hopefully I did my best. Let's see, Wasabi. Well, I have constructed my Astral Sanctum and can go there. Okay, Wasabi. If you can go there and you can move around, you're in that astral area. And the fog will clear with time. It will clear with time. Um, Another thing is astral plane is foggy. That's something a lot of people don't realize. It is foggy. If you're on the astral plane, the fog never fully clears. It's always going to be foggy. Um, One of my teachers actually told me, so like the astral plane is like you walk any room you walk into or anywhere you're on the astral plane, somebody's chasing you with a fog machine. So at times it'll disperse and get thin, but you still see the wisp of it in the air, and inevitably another big burst will come around. Let's see. Okay. No problem, Austin. Happy to do the best I can to answer the questions, man. Let's see. I'm trying to make my energy in my hand turn to fire. I've got as far as making heat waves that me and my friends can see. Do you know how I can get it to manifest more? Um, Xavier, are you actually like saying create a flame of fire in your hand, like a little fireball sitting here that I could cook on or use to light a fire? Because if that's what you're saying, I have met a lot of magicians who make that claim. A lot. And I've spent a lot of airfare to meet these individuals. Not one has ever done it. I've yet to see proof of that type of manifestation. Not saying it's impossible. With magic, I've seen a lot of weird crap that I once would have said was impossible. But at this point in time, I can honestly say that type of physical manifestation of pyromancy, I have never actually seen proven. I've heard a lot of people boast, and not one of them, when push comes to shove, can ever manifest it in any shape, form, or fashion. Because I have spent a lot of airfare and I've interviewed over 100 people who's made that claim. And every one of them has wasted my time and money. But I am still interested and I will probably continue my research and find until I either drop dead or run out of money or someone can actually prove it. Let's see. LVX, I can reach the intense vibrational state for a time. Then I'll experience intense fear, thinking about millions of demons, acrons, then end it in case I manifest. Did I miss part of that? Or is that the whole question? Oh no, okay, I see what it is now. It's linking back up to your first one. Um Honestly, LVX, all you really have to fear is fear itself. Demons aren't evil, Acreons aren't evil, reptilians aren't evil. It doesn't work that way. The multiverse does not have the hubris and ideologies that we have of good and evil. That is a very dualistic human type trait. Um, Now, that's not to say you can't go in there and they're not going to, you tick them off. They won't smack you. I mean, anybody ticks you off, they'll smack them. But as long as you go in and you treat them with respect and whatnot, you're good to go. That fear will keep you anchored. And that's, again, part of that self mastery because self mastery is, it's not just mastering your abilities, it's your mental facilities, your spiritual facilities, your physical facilities, and especially emotional. Look at the powers of the Magus to will, to dare, um, keep silent, and to know. To dare is to push past fear. Let's see. Yeah, I do know a bit about shadow people. I've researched them and done investigations where these have been seen. I think more research needs to be done on them. And I think some people are too dead set in a hard definition of what they think these are. Most people just see them as very evil, negative beings that feed on fear or want to cause harm. But I've not actually seen a consistency in them. Some of them seem to be spirits. Some of them actually seem to be just thought forms. I'll be honest, most of them end up being thought forms. And some of them actually seem to be beings that are they're not even aware we're there. It's like the veil kind of brushes up against their plane, and we're just kind of seeing them doing their thing. And sometimes they may see us, most of the time they don't, and we just freak out. Uh, yeah, see, just like she said, just sage it most of the time. That'll clear it up because it's just the negative energy creating that thought form. Let's see. Uh, yeah, Anana, you are right. She is visible in darkness quite often. Let's see. LEX. Here's uh, it is hard. It is hard, LVX. But nothing that was ever easy was worth doing. I mean, seriously. Anything worth doing is going to be hard work. Anyone who tells you magic's easy, they're lying to you. I tell everyone, unless you're willing to put in the work, don't come to magic. Magic's not easy. Magic will complicate your life because the more capable you become, the multiverse looks down. It's like, hey, he's more capable. We can throw more at him now, and they do. But since they're throwing more at you, you grow quicker. So it does work exponentially. Oh, I've heard something about this. Not a whole lot of details on that wasabi. I don't know that I call it a full-on Hogwarts, just because the way the teachings and things were done differently. Um, but yeah, I have heard about it. Don't have the details on it. Well, if they're the thought forms, you can just sage them, and it'll any energy cleanse will get rid of them. As far as if you're just seeing them around the house, like I said, if it's something brushing a plane, not really much you can do because they're not actually there. You can try and put up a energetic curtain because it's basically like what you would do with a window. You don't want to look out the window, you put up a curtain. Um, as far as fear, that's something you got to handle yourself. You got to handle that one and just stand up to fear. Fear is not something that you get rid of. You have to understand that. Most people think fear is something we get rid of. Not unless you don't want to survive. What we call fear is a survival instinct that is a necessity to existence on the physical plane. It's how you react to that stimulation that matters. We've come to take that fight or flight instinct, that adrenaline dump, and think it's bad, negative, oh my God, and duck under a cover. Whereas that is an energetic empowerment that you can use for your spell work and other things. It's quite fun. I've done the math on life has. Um, Xavier, that one's hard to say. I've actually researched it some, but I'll be honest, when it comes to the description of the life paths and the data, I don't know. Most of my research is coming out 50-50-ish. It's very skewed. It's almost even. Sometimes it proves to be true, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the person deviates drastically. Um, which is actually ironic you asked that question because I actually have a buddy out in Colorado. He's supposed to be having a trip here to the East Coast this year. And him and I is actually going to look over one of my journals on life paths and numbers. And he's far more versed in the mathematics side of Magick. So he's going to look over my work, look over the data and my math and see if it's accurate. So he's going to check my data so that we can have a second eye on my personal results. I always like having that second eye. But at this time, I have to say it's been mostly 50-50 from everything I've seen. And a few other magicians have told me the same. Um, and that's the people who's actually tracked any data. There's plenty of people I know who say, yeah, it's true all the time. Well, where's your data tracking? And they're like, well, I don't have it. And y'all know me. I can't do faith. I don't do faith. I need data. I need something. So I don't want to say it's bunk because I can't say that. I don't have the data. But at the time, I also can't say it's 100% true. I hope that makes sense to you, Xavier. Well, seeing things isn't necessarily a gift. It's a natural ability all humans have. Some people just it stays open from child. I mean, we're all born with it wide open. Some people just don't get desensitized to it and never have to, so it never closes off. But entities are around all the time, and that's just something most people, well, humans really, by and large, need to learn to live with. MK, I'll be honest with you. I don't really believe in coincidences either. But that scientific side of me, it's it's just been there since birth. I've tried to fight it. Most of you know I was actually in the church for a while, taught in the church even, but tried to fight it. I just can't. There's just I can't do it. Chi and Prana, yes, they're both viewed as life force energies, and so yeah, just like Chi, Ki, they're the same energies. The manipulation and usage of them and teachings differ slightly from one to one, but they are the same. Now, some of your spiritualists will argue and debate them, but when you really look at it, they end up being the exact same energy. Wasabi, I want to contact that turtle dragon that can power cleanse your house energetically. Terador, yeah, that's right. That is Torga. Torga can help you with that, Wasabi. And we actually have a video on Torga here on the channel. And Terry, you got the spelling correct. Awesome. Good on that. People will choose to like and hate what they will. We all have a difference of opinion on different things. Some of us, we think it's sad when someone dislikes something, but I mean, even with the arcane senses, you run into this. Like when my hair grew long, it had this nice little wavy curliness to it that my sister was envious over. I hated it. I absolutely do not like the curls in my hair. Um, I doubt. I mean, I'm still trying to fight with my wife to get her to come on stream with me sometime. but her hair is just straight. Just whoosh. That's what I want. Um, and then people who have that straight hair, they want curly hair. So honestly, the arcane senses and being open, it really falls into that same thing. But if she starts studying magic, if she hasn't already, she can actually increase that activity. But if she does start working with magic, she can at least start doing some house cleansings that might lower it, or at least see to it the entities in the house are mostly positive. But the more open to magic and other things that you are, the more entities are drawn to you. So it's a two-way street there. Let's see, Wasabi. I still can't believe I found your channel looking up Fae, which I got interested in after a temple live stream talking about how the government were trying to work with the Fae with mixed results. Um, okay, I think I know who Temple is. I'm wanting to say is that he wears glasses and usually some kind of a toboggan or beanie in his streams. I've only seen a couple of them. Um, but I do know he does like current events and stuff like that, so that fits. It's just the government and Faye connection. Oh my god, I may have to see if I can actually find the article or live stream that was in Wasabi. That sounds so freaking hilarious. Oh, I got to hear this. I need this in my life. I need this. Does he normally talk about topics like that? Because I honestly, if it's the guy I thought he just talked about politics and news, which I try to avoid that. I mean, I told you we try to avoid politics here on the channel, um, but I actually do try to avoid it outside just keeping up with relative current events because I got enough problems in my life. I don't need depressing. Let's see. So yeah, I have to look into that. Wasabi. Well, Tara, I hope you can help her. Check out the cleansing videos here on the channel and see if that might be something she wants to look into and see if the cleansing can help her. Drake's like coast to coast AM. What? I don't think I'm putting up those kinds of numbers yet. Now, that show I know. That show I know. I used to work the graveyard shift and we used to listen to that all the time, even before I got into Magic. In fact, when we were listening to it, I remember rolling my eyes at that show. Um, so that's kind of weird. That's kind of wild. I appreciate the comparison, Austin. Astral Sanctum can be anything you want. It can be your own personal temple. So if it's a temple you constructed and it's in your own, yes, it's the same thing. But like in the Dragon Magic 101 class, you actually visit an elemental temple that's in its own plane. It's in its own existence. It's not actually on the astral. That would not be an astral sanctum, but your astral sanctum can be a temple. And there are people who say um, use the astral sanctum, and they'll say construct your astral temple. Same thing. It's just sanctum and temple's been switched out in the exercises. See what we got here. Happy New Year, Dragon of the West. See, also, no, I haven't sprung a spiritual muscle or since don't feel a lot of arcane stuff. Are you asking how you know if you haven't done it? I'm not sure I understand it, Dragon of the West. It sounds like you're asking me how do you know you haven't sprung an astral muscle? Because sometimes, depending on what you're doing, you can actually overdo it, or sometimes you can just get your energy out of whack and balance, and that can dull it, which is why meditation is so important. If you do that, just the easiest way using the information on the channel would be to do the Dragon's Flame ritual or similar ritual that you have and you can use, and channel that energy up and down your chakra locations or just through your whole energy body, cycling it in and out as you breathe to balance you back out. Tara, let's leave the government out of this. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow. Has it been an hour? Okay. Let's see here. I keep trying to have her watch your vids, Drake. She was visiting us last week. Again, that's a choice she has to make because once you open that door, you can't close it. And if she's already having the difficulty she is, she has to make that decision on her own because you can't peek in and be like, no, that's not for me. Close it. So it's a hard case. You just got to best you can do is be there for your friend and support her as best you can. Even offer to do a cleansing for her. Yeah, most of the old elderly people I grew up with weren't afraid of ghosts or spirits. They didn't mind them. It's just a natural part of life. But I grew up in the South where, bro, crap, we got so much haunted stuff around here. Let's stop it. Let's leave the government out, please. Pretty please, with sugar on top. Aphrodite is great for an attraction spell to boost your attraction. Citri can even actually boost the aura of attraction around you. Well, check out the cleansing videos here on the channel, Terror, and practice on yourself and at your home a little bit. And then, if you're comfortable with it, see if she's willing to let you try. Oscar, welcome. You're catching us at the end. We're getting ready to wrap up. Happy New Year to you too. You don't have to use herbs at all. You can use sound to cleanse. That's one of the things we go over in the cleansing video. There's a lot of different ways to cleanse. I personally don't use herbs most of the time. I prefer to use energy and or sound to do my cleansings. How many paranormal investigations have I done? I lost count years ago, man. I did. I've gone chasing different paranormal activity and cryptids, um, and I lost count. I actually have a few boxes of files and folders and notes in storage. So, good night, Wasabi. Have a great night. Thank you for joining us. MK, have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? I recently, like, yeah, okay, not recently, like 4 months ago, my wife watched it on Netflix. So I watched it with her. Um, I can't say I've absorbed it, but I mean, it was a pretty fun little show. It was one of the better ones I've seen in a while. Of course, I know it's an older one, but yeah. Let's see, Nicole Harris. Do you know what ring pass not or pass the ring? Uh, that's so vague. I would need far more things to narrow it down because there's a few things I could think that might relate to, and I don't want to give the wrong answer on that one. Nicole, Nicholas, sorry. Um, yeah, there's a couple libraries on the astral plane. They're a lot of fun to visit too and do some research actually. Well, don't set yourself on fire, Tara. I mean, you play with fire, you get burned eventually, always, no matter what. But always be careful, always be cautious. Yeah, loud, happy songs are great. That's one of the reasons when you play music that lifts your spirits, the whole house feels better. Let's see, Dragon of the West. Can we use any spirit? The angel, demon, daemon, Nordic, Aztec in our practice. Dragon of the West. That's a loaded question. Can you use any spirit? Be it angel, demon, daemon, Nordic, Aztec, or other in your practice? And the reason is technically the answer is yes. However, when approaching an entity, you need to know about it and its culture and its roots to make sure you're approaching it correctly. Um, and there are certain spirits that are very, very particular. Some of them you have to actually be fully initiated within the practice to work with. The voodoo Loa actually come to mind for that case. You do not want to mess with them unless you're initiated. Um, I can't say I know a lot about the Aztecs personally, but angels, demons, they're pretty universal. As long as you treat those two respectfully, you're pretty easy to go. The Norse deities, as long as you respect their culture, their way of life, and their ideology, and you do your research, they're very approachable. But I've seen a lot of people approach them and expect them to sugarcoat things and turn it down and do things completely against the culture. Um, and that don't work out well. So you got to make sure you do your research. And you can't just call them up and expect them to go willy nilly and change their entire ways to suit you. Which I know that a lot of people do that. I know it's surprising, but they do that. So you do your research, but by and large, you could. Let's see. Let's see. Look at okay. So that thank you. That's going to make my search a lot easier, a lot easier. Thank you, Wasabi. Uh, there's a bit more to both Leviathan and Quetzalcoatl than just water and air, Luna. Especially Leviathan. Leviathan actually is a cross element dragon. He actually has 3 elements that he is associated with. Let's see. All right, we're going to have to get ready to wrap up, people, because if I don't, y'all keep asking me questions and I just keep answering them. Woo! But that's okay. Y'all know I love your questions. And I love the fact that you're willing to join me here on Friday nights and listen to me ramble on and talk about what I got going on and, share an evening and some coffee with y'all. It's always wonderful. Now, true, tonight I didn't talk too much about necessarily my research. It's more of what we got in the coming year. Hopefully, you're looking forward to some of the things we do got coming up. I know I'm really looking forward to sharing my research and stuff with you all. So that'll be a lot of fun. It's actually going to be fascinating to be going through this path working because a lot of this path working is going to be physically focused on building me back up. So we should hopefully be able to see some physical changes in me for the better, not just spiritual changes. So woohoo, we'll see how that goes. We do have a video coming out Tuesday. And I want to say it's actually a review on a book for Norse practice. You all keep asking me what books I would recommend for the Norse practice, and I can never remember the title of that one book. You know what I'm talking about because it's always this one book. And I always feel like an idiot every time I get asked the question. So, since we are going to be starting to do more Norse videos this year, I was like, I'm going to review this book. I'm going to give my thoughts on it, why I like it. So Tuesday you should be seeing that video. Do stay tuned, and we will be here Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Magical Coffee Hour. Also, if you haven't already, jump over to the merch shop, pick you up a nice Working Dragon Mystic mug. This one here's got the Dragon's Eye seal on it there. We do still have a few of the Yule mugs left, so if you haven't picked up your limited edition Yule mug, grab that. All that goes to support the channel. Anytime you buy any of that merchandise, whether it be the stickers, the artwork of the rulers, or the wall hanging circles, that these actually do function as magical circles as well. All that goes to support the channel, and we appreciate everything y'all do. And we appreciate you watching the channel and taking the time to watch the videos and learn. That's why we're here. With that, I will stop chewing your all's ear off, and I will head on and get some more work done. How about that? Y'all have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend, and have a wonderful and absolutely magical 2021, everyone. Happy New Year. Let's get to it and let's manifest our future, shall we? Take it easy. Bye-bye.